Ricky, I do want to talk about a little teaser trailer before we get to the tragedy of Macbeth. Lord of the Rings. We've been waiting for this series. Seems like going on 5 years now since Amazon acquired the rights to Lord of the Rings. So they released this teaser trailer that showed nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
It's going to be titled The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. First off, title sucks. Title sucks. We can't have rings twice.
It's like an onomatopoeia. They should,
just give it the name Lord of the Rings. That's it. Just because the movies, they say the Fellowship of the Ring, right? The Twin Towers, and you have Return of the King. Just the series should be the Lord of the Rings. When you say the Rings of Power, it gets a little repetitive. Series is going to premiere September 2nd on Amazon. It's going to follow all the major stories of Middle Earth's Second Age, including the forging of the rings, the rising of the Dark Lord Sauron, the epic tale of Numenor, and the last alliance of the elves and men. So it seems like you have 4 seasons right there. Thoughts on this teaser, I guess, Ricky Flicks?
Well, the teaser sucked. That was pointless. But you had the Game of Thrones. It's hard not to think of Game of Thrones when you're watching this because of the fire going through it. You're thinking of the maps and the song going to the Game of Thrones before episode, right? This one, you're thinking of the same thing. And also, middle age, very similar to Game of Thrones, right? All this similar, story, not storylines, but, just premise. It's very similar. And this one, it seems like the Forging of the Rings, Rise of the Dark Lord Sauron, epic tale, and last alliance of elves and men. It's same thing with Game of Thrones. You have so many intertwining storylines where it's all going to come together. It's going to be the same thing, but I love it. The last alliance of elves and men. I always think about that when I watch Lord of the Rings. I'm saying Game of Thrones. Lord of the Rings. What happened? What is going on? Why can't they just be happy? Are the elves just too arrogant and too think they're high up? I don't know. This is gonna figure that out for us.
I think I'm most excited to see the rise of Sauron. Sauron is such a terrifying, I guess, figure, if you want to call him a figure, in the Lord of the Rings lore, that I would love to see the origin story there. It's almost like episode 3, 1, 2, and 3 of Star Wars going into the rise of Darth Vader. It's
I was thinking the Acolyte series.
Similar. It could be that too, but we just haven't gotten it yet. I know what you're saying with the rise of the dark side and everything like that. But what else did I want to say? It's going to be interesting because House of the Dragon for Game of Thrones, we don't know when that's coming out. It says 2022, but I don't think we have an exact release date for that film. Are you double checking right now, Flicks?
No, I was looking at something else.
Oh, I thought you hit the keyboard so quick after I said expect a release date for House of the Dragon. I'm oh, he's on top of this. No, it's something else. But it'd be fascinating if Amazon didn't release these all at once. I assume they won't, right? I assume this series is big enough. They want to remain, keep audiences intrigued by having them coming back week after week. Imagine this was coming out at the same time or right before, right after House of the Dragon, the prequel Game of Thrones series. That would be interesting. What a rivalry we could have for the next few years.
Yeah, because this is September 2nd, you said, and I just. Yep. For you, I did look up the Game of Thrones prequel series. There is no specific date, but it just says 2022. Maybe winter. That makes sense. Winter is coming. That makes sense. So maybe Winter's after this series,
they kept tweeting that. Game of Thrones. The account keeps tweeting that.
So probably in the winter time, I'm gonna guess.
Wow.
But I think this series, I'm gonna make a statement. This series is so important that it's expected to cost $1 billion. It's the most expensive.
Didn't the budget cost $500 million?
Yeah, but it's expected to go upwards as seasons go.
Oh my God.
So this is the most expensive TV production of all time. And if this sucks, then we might see the end of Game of Thrones style things, unless it's Game of Thrones.
This is going to be crazy, right? This is going to be this rivalry that we could see, but there is so much more. Oh my God. Who has more pressure to perform here? Yes. House of the Dragon or Amazon's Lord of the Rings? What has more pressure to perform?
So I want to say this just because this is Prime, because Amazon Prime, right? Everyone has it for shopping and, but Prime Video is just not, it's you have Netflix. I still think HBO Max is far superior, but Prime, you have you have its corners, but it's still not the player, even though it has that Amazon base. So this, you have the budget to do things like this. If they don't do this well with this budget, then they won't be able to do anything well. So this is so big for them. But I see the other side of the argument with Game of Thrones.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here with you, Flex. I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm jumping in. The end of Game of Thrones. I think enough time has passed where we're ready for a prequel series. In this age of people like, okay, spinoffs, right? Sequels, prequels, yeah. Enough time has passed to get the bad taste of season 8 just like out of us, right? It's flowing through us. It's gone for the most part. This needs to bring back vibes of early Game of Thrones. If it goes too magical and it throws the audience off, right? And it doesn't give them what they loved about the original, and all of a sudden they hate it off the bat, right? Game of Thrones, like this kind of shuts off any other possibility they have at making another series, right? Because it's crazy to say, because the height of Game of Thrones was insanity. The lead into season 7, season 8, the talk on social media, it was more than any other show that's existed probably since The Sopranos. Like that's more of like blog talk and stuff like that, and people just talking about that finale. But we have the point now where people are ready for it. Can it deliver? And if it does deliver, we want more. If it doesn't deliver, right, HBO are probably saying enough. We don't want any more Game of Thrones.
Yes. I think what you said though is key. Enough time has passed. Like if this came out the year after Game of Thrones season 8, then like this would already be a failure. Like
they probably wanted to do it earlier too.
Yeah,
they probably wanted to, and they were expecting season 8 to be receptive.
COVID saved
just
them.
Like most of the seasons.
COVID delay saved them. Like it definitely did. Because if this came out too early, you would have people protesting. You would have people just not
sour taste in their mouths. Still,
right.
It's
Oh, I lost you there for a second.
I lost you there too. Okay. Good.
Yeah, I think we're good.